Hello, this is Rocky Patel with PranicLifestyle.com, and today I'd like to talk about the power of tithing to generate prosperity karma. And we're taught, in Arhatic Yoga about service and tithing, and you're supposed to tithe where you get your spiritual energy from. So I like to tithe to Master Choa Kok Sui's foundation in the Philippines. But I also like to tithe to, the different pranic healing centers, where I attend classes. And that's a great way to generate good karma. And, I also tithe to the local food banks, where they feed people. It just depends on what kind of, what kind of karma you want to generate. Like if it's for like helping people with their eyesight, then you could donate to places that help people with their eyesight. You just have to make sure that there's not a lot of fat and overhead in the charity where 90% of the money is going for admin and pay for buildings and all this, stuff like that, where, you're getting the most bang for your tithing buck, so to speak. And, I noticed in my life, whenever things get tight financially, my tithing is also off. I'm not tithing as much as I need to be. And so there can be, money tightens up or the cash flow tightens. But as soon as I start tithing again, money starts coming in like the same day. And sometimes, when you tithe, you might not notice a difference. It's like, oh, I just tithe and nothing's happening. Well, it could be because that karma is being used somewhere else. Maybe there was going to be something negative, manifest, and that good karma went there, to help neutralize or help soften, things that are happening in your life. And things like, there's different things give different karmic royalties, so to speak. Say if you just gave money to like a street person, that's good karma. And every time I see people asking for money, I give, because Master Choa Kok Sui, when I was with him, he would never walk by a person on the street without giving money or food. And so I never miss an opportunity to tithe. But say you give a tithe to a pranic healing scholarship, and somebody learns pranic healing, and then they're doing healings, for the rest of their life. Well, that karma, it could just, it's like the good karma that's generated could be way more than just giving to one person one time, or just giving a bag of food to somebody, which is fine. But things that, long term, they keep giving over and over again. Say, donating, buying the books of Master Choa Kok Sui, and then donate them to your library. So now in your local library, you got a set of Master Choa Kok Sui's books. Well, guess what happens? Every time somebody checks that book out and they learn about healing and then maybe take the class and stuff, well, that's really good karma for you. So there's different things. Whoa. Somebody came up close to me there. But say I know sometimes I tithe healings for my parents, where instead of giving them the money directly, I'll pay for healing sessions to be done on them. And the good karma is really, really good from that. But other ways, you could generate good karma is donating the CDs or audios of Master Choa Kok Sui, the Twin Hearts or the Oms or the Om Mani Padme Hum and stuff like that, or the Twin Hearts with Om Mani Padme Hum, because every time somebody does that, it's or plays it, hopefully there should be some karmic royalties coming back to you. So it's just leveraging, the tithing basically. Like one of the things I used to do is I used to sell products, and I would take that money and I would buy soap, 50-gallon drums of soap for the shelter, for the women's shelter. and I would have this big drum of liquid soap, and it would cost like $500, enough for like thousands and thousands of people to take a shower, or like they could put it in small bottles. But we would have it blessed and energized, and put like blessed water in there, and put some oils in there that are supercharged, and this blessed everything. So every time somebody uses it, when they use it on their body and they scrub themselves, they're not only cleaning the physical dirt, but it's actually cleaning like energetically, like really, really deeply. And I used to donate lots of like creams to the shelter, soap, and so those things, like, even though it gets used up, but like they'll keep using it for a while, and so it's like that good karma just keeps coming in. And I mean, there's many, many things like, you can tithe for. One is like for like dental work on people who need like dental work. Because if you think about it, like, people can't survive necessarily without good teeth. I mean, they can, but it's like not as good, and it could be painful. So like tithing, like, for like people's dental work is like really, really good karma. Or like, giving blood, or donating money to the to the blood bank for people that don't have money for to buy blood, basically. So the good karma generated from something like that is like pretty massive. Like if you save somebody's life, because like they needed blood, it's like really, really good karma. And so anyways, you want to be sure that you're tithing consistently, often. I mean, I tithe sometimes daily. Like I have my normal tithing that I'm doing, and I like to tithe ahead of time. So even before money comes in, I'm gonna tithe to prime the pump, because I know when I tithe ahead of time, like the money comes back like the same day or within the same week. So I like to give extra. Like one time, Master Choa Sui was talking about not only giving like 10%, but like 20% of your business, like for tithing, to help push things, like a booster, to help bring like lots and lots of good karma in ahead of time, to fuel your business growth and the cash flow. So some people have a issue with like, oh, I'm going to tithe like 10% of my net. So they're going to wait till the end of the year after the taxes, and then they're going to do a tithing on the net. And that's kind of like a long time to wait to, to prime the pump, to, be generating that good karma. I like to tithe like sometimes daily, weekly, monthly, but as often as possible. And especially if something's going on where like, it's like, oh, I like there's, some pain in the body, or like a loved one needs, like a child or a parent, like they're going through some issues, I'll tithe for them. I'll tithe in their name. So it's like, it helps soften, what's happening in their life, and the good karma, the karma that comes back is like really, really fantastic. But anyways, the key is like tithing consistently to places where it comes back like many, many, many times. Like I know when I tithe to Master Choa Sui's Charitable Foundation in the Philippines, and I think you could find, I don't know, you'd have to search MCKS Charitable Foundation. That money's used to like feed like thousands and thousands of people, spread pranic healing. So the money just keeps going and going and going. And it's like to my spiritual teacher's foundation. And that's basically, where I'm getting that's like my church, basically, where I'm getting, my spiritual energy. But if you have like a local church you go to, you can donate there also. Or you could just buy supplies for the shelter. Like I would go to like Sam's Club or the Wholesale Club and buy food and then give it directly to the shelter. That way like where it's going, and it's not going to be mismanaged, and there's like no extra fat basically on that donation. Because some of these big charitable foundations, the president's getting $500,000 a year in salary, and like the all the people that execs are getting pretty hefty salaries, and it can only be like less than half or even 20% of the money actually goes to the end user or to the actual what we're trying to do there. But anyways, hope this helps. So tithe consistently. Talk to you guys later. PrankLifestyle.com.